We can record this so that you can access it later if you would like. All right, so as always, find a comfortable seat, whatever that looks like in your body. Remembering that you have options here. So in my body, it's comfortable to sit with my legs folded, but that's by no means universal. So feel free to adjust however you'd like to. You can have a leg up, you can have both legs out. Sometimes elevating your tailbone can be good. So sitting on a cushion or a block like this, that can feel really, really nice. So find your way to a nice, comfortable seat. Again, whatever that looks like. And we'll start just by finding some nice, deep breaths. Really giving your body that full freedom of air. Breathe from your belly. Allow your eyes to soften, maybe even close completely. On your next inhale, let's begin to connect some movement to our breath. So on the inhale, feel your spine roll out nice and long. Sit tall on your mat. And then exhale to soften, melting your shoulders, softening your hips. Inhale to lift, to lengthen. And exhale to soften. And we'll just feel this a few times in our bodies. This connection of breath and gentle movement. On your next inhale, sweep your right arm across in front of you, and then up and over, and exhale to lower that right hand down. And then inhale your left arm across, up and over, and exhale down. Inhaling right, across, up and over, and down, and left. And then simply continue to follow this pattern, this movement meditation on your breath. Now, as you breathe, as you move, begin to let your intuition creep in a little bit. So if you notice that it would feel good to linger in one particular part of a stretch, or to add on some movement or a different stretch here, feel empowered to do so, to begin changing this practice so that it addresses any areas of tension or tightness that you might be experiencing. And then gently and gradually make your way all the way back to seated. Draw your hands to heart center and close your eyes. Take a moment here to set your intention for your practice today, to choose the energy that you wish to connect with right here on your mat. Once that intention is set, release your hands down to the mat. Sweep your feet around behind you. We're going to meet in tabletop. So as always in tabletop, wrists come beneath the shoulders, knees are under the hips. On your inhale, roll your heart forward and tip your tailbone to the sky. Exhale, coil your belly in and drop the crown of your head. And then inhale, roll open. Exhaling to coil. Now, if cat-cow feels amazing, then you stay right here in this flow. If you'd like to, you're also welcome to find some free form movement. So maybe you shift from side to side or forward and back, whatever helps you address little points of tension and soothe them in your body today. And then make your way back to your tabletop. Draw your knees together under your hips so that they're centered under your body so you're nice and stable. On your inhale, extend your right leg long behind you. Lower the tip of your toe to the mat, and we'll begin to press into that right heel to stretch out the back of our legs. Now, as always in this space, you have choices, right? If it's a little too much, you can come out of the stretch a little bit. One other option you have, rather than a static stretch, is a slow roll into and out of it. So not a bounce, but a slow flowing motion. Depending on our bodies, sometimes that feels better than a static stretch. So do what feels right for you. Let's lower that right knee down. We're going to feel that on the other side. Inhale to extend your left leg long and lower the tip of your toe down to the mat. So same thing on this side. Press into that left heel, stretch it out. And again, yogi's choice here. Either sustaining that stretch or finding a slow wave pattern rolling into and out of it. And then find your way back to tabletop. Now, from here, we're going to take a seat to do a little bit of a neck stretching and opening sequence. So I invite you to find a seat that's comfortable for you. So we're going to be there for a little bit, so feel free to grab a cushion or sit on a block, whatever feels best. Once you've found your comfortable seat, we'll start just by dropping our chins to our chests. Take a moment here and then begin to find a slow roll, rolling your head all the way over to one side and back to center and all the way over to the other. We're going to go nice and slowly here. So part of the reason for that is so that you can notice where specifically you're holding tension, because you're going to find usually one side is tighter than the other. And there will be specific angles where you hold your head addresses the stretch more. Like for me right here, I can really feel a stretch in my right shoulder. So as you notice those spaces, I invite you to pause when you found a spot that needs a little bit more time, a little bit more lingering in that stretch, and just hold your head there for a count. One thing that can also help release tension, so let's say we find a spot, like I found one of mine. Take a deep breath in while holding the stretch. Exhale and relax. And that can make that spot release even more. Now let's get into the sides of our necks. So on your next roll over to the right side, we're going to position our right ears over our right shoulder. So turn your face toward me or toward the front, but leave your right ear floating over that right shoulder. So you'll begin to feel this on the left side of your neck. And maybe right now, just having your head tilted is plenty. If that is, you stay right here. If you'd like to add on, roll your left shoulder back and down, and you can even walk those left fingertips away. And again, maybe this is plenty. If this feels good, stay right here. Also notice that where you put your fingers, where that left hand goes, will change where you're feeling that stretch. So find the spot where it's doing the most good. The last modification I'll give you, if you'd like, you can take your right hand and add it to the top of your head and increase that stretch even more. But remember to go gently here, right? Our necks are very sensitive, particularly since we've been storing a lot of tension there. And release. Roll back to center. Let's roll all the way over to the left side. So left ear goes over that left shoulder. And again, evaluate. Maybe this is plenty. Maybe we roll that right shoulder back and down and walk the fingertips away. And again, notice where the best place is for your fingertips to be to get the most stretch, to benefit your neck the most. And again, maybe we stay right here. Maybe you add that left hand to the top of your head, adding even more stretch. But again, emphasizing that there is no correct way, there is no optimum neck stretch here other than the one that feels right in your body. So you do the version that works for you. And then nice and gently and gradually find your way back to center. Draw your chin to parallel with the earth, and let's find some shoulder rolls. So let's roll our shoulders all the way forward, all the way up, squeeze them together at the back, and then down. And connect those points again. So just big, expressive shoulder circles. And remember that squeeze as they come together in the back. Weirdly compressing muscles can then help them release. So this will probably feel pretty good. And let's roll the other direction. So also rolling forward, rounding fully, squeezing together, and then back up. Just a couple more times here. And then come back to center. Scrunch your shoulders up to your ears. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. And then on your exhale, roll them back and down and feel all of that amazing length created between your head and your shoulders. So from here, we're going to transition to forward fold. So find your way there however you'd like to, remembering that you can come from tabletop to forward fold. You can just step over. When you arrive in your forward fold, feel free to position a block under your hands to support you. Once you're there, try to relax. If it's open to you, you can dangle a little bit. Let your head be heavy. Let your neck be long. Try to relax your jaw. And we're just going to take a moment right here in a gentle inversion to let the force of gravity roll a different direction down our spines. We spend all day being compressed in one way, so we're going to just use gravity in the other way now. And then let's come back to center. Bend your knees, exhale, roll your way all the way up to standing, making our way into our first Tadasana. Now I know I'm decapitated on your screen right now, but I'm going to come back down to the mat, so I'm just going to leave the camera where it is, and we'll set up our first mountain pose of class. So for those of you who don't remember, of course, Tadasana, mountain pose, is a nice stable pose. Our feet are directly beneath our hip bones and they're parallel facing forward. Take a moment right here to bring your hands to your belly. Give your belly some love. A little bit of a soothing self-massage right here. And then find that spot just beneath your navel where there's that little triangle of muscles. Draw your navel in, you'll feel your tailbone lengthen, and then roll your shoulders back and down and let your palms face forward, stand tall. On your inhale, sweep your fingertips to the sky. Exhale to fold all the way forward. Bend your knees enough that your fingertips can touch your blocks or the mat. On your inhale, step your right foot back to lunge and lower that right knee down. Now, I can't see you, or I can't see you clearly enough to evaluate alignment. So I need you to be very aware of your joints and where they are in relationship to each other. So in lunge, we want to make sure that that knee is no further forward than the ankle at a 90-degree angle. So we want to have a nice straight alignment here. If your foot is back like this, just grab it and move it forward. And this helps protect our kneecaps. So once you've settled into your lunge, grab your blocks if you're using them. Inhale to look forward. Exhale, let your hips draw you back, letting that left leg start to straighten. Inhale forward to lunge, melt your right hip toward the earth, and exhale back. Now remember, in flowing lunge, you can also move your hands. So if it helps you stretch to walk your hands forward and back, that's totally fine. Let your next inhale bring you forward to lunge. On your next exhale, find tabletop. So once again, wrists come beneath the shoulders, knees under the hips. And let's keep moving our spines. So your choice here, either cat-cow, rolling open and then coiling, or a little bit of free form or sahaja spinal expression, just stretching and moving whatever needs to move. And then make your way back to your tabletop. Stabilize in tabletop. Walk your hands, one hand span forward, and shift your shoulders over your wrists. So we're finding half plank right here. Let's feel it wrong first. Slump through your midsection, feel that it's awful, and then dial your core in, feeling nice and strong and connected here. Staying strong through our bellies. We're going to bend our elbows to shave our sides and lower our way down. And if this gets to be too much, just come down to the mat. Once you're there, walk your toes back, create space. You can bring your fingertips wide. They can come off the mat. Begin to roll one shoulder and then the other. Free your spine, create space. And then return your hands to beneath your shoulders. Press back to tabletop. Or if you would like to, and you have one in your practice, you're welcome to take downward dog here. Now, whatever pose you've chosen, find some movement. So if you're in tabletop, you're in cat-cow or free-form movement. If you had chosen downward facing dog, walk out your dog. Bend one knee and then the other, just stretching it out. And then find your way into stillness, into a neutral spine. Inhale to look forward. Exhale to step your right foot forward between your hands. Remember that multi-step movements are fine here. Once you land, again, just make sure that your right knee is directly over that right ankle. Grab your blocks if you were using them. Inhale to look forward. Exhale, shift back. Stretching out the back of that right leg. Inhale, forward to lunge. And exhale, shift back. Remember, you have the option to move your hands here as well. You can walk them forward and back. Let your next inhale bring you all the way forward to lunge. Turn your left toes under to lift your back knee. Look forward and then step together and fold. Soften, rock from side to side if that would feel good. And then come back to center. Bend your knees. Exhale, roll your way all the way up to standing. Inhale, rise and open. Exhale to draw your hands to heart center. Check in with your Tadasana. So if you notice that your mountain pose has moved, no problem, but just reset. Feel that strong core, that long spine. On your inhale, sweep your fingertips to the sky. Exhale, fold all the way forward. Bend your knees to plant your fingertips. Inhale to step your left foot back to lunge and lower that left knee all the way down. Now we're going to do a little modification here. I'd like you to wiggle your right foot a little wide and bring both hands to the inside. So that can be on blocks. Your hands can also come down to the mat. It just depends on how open your hips are. But this lets us get into a slightly deeper hip stretch by coming to the inside. Inhale to look forward. Exhale, shift back. This time, let your right toes rise. So we're going to get a deeper stretch on that right leg. Inhale, forward to lunge. Melt that left hip toward the earth. Exhaling, shifting back, right toes rising. Inhaling forward, melt the left hip. And exhale back. Let your next inhale bring you forward to lunge. Once again, find your tabletop. From here, we'll walk our hands, one hand span forward, shift our shoulders over our wrists. For those of you who are feeling ambitious today, full plank is an option here, as well as half plank. Protect your back by engaging your core, and then bend your elbows and float your way all the way down to the mat. And again, just come down if it's too much. Walk your toes back, and let's bring our fingertips wide again, specifically since we've got some shoulder tension in the room today. Roll it out and begin. We're going for full range of motion here. So huge shoulder circles. And remembering that maybe clicking noises are normal. At least I have a lot of clicking noises. Return your hands to beneath your shoulders. Press back, tabletop, or if you have one in your practice, downward facing dog. Inhale to look forward. Exhale to step your left foot forward between your hands. If your back knee is lifted, go ahead and lower it. So once again, we're going to grab those blocks and we're going to come to the inside. So we'll wiggle that foot a little bit wide. And again, you can have blocks under your hands or you can just bring them down to the mat. On your inhale, look forward. Exhale, shift back. This time, let's let those left toes rise. Again, deepening that stretch along the back of the leg. Inhale, forward. Exhale, shift back, left toes rise. Inhale, forward to lunge. And just follow your breath right here. Let your next inhale bring you forward to lunge. Turn your right toes under to lift your back knee. Look forward and step together. Finding your forward fold and just softening right here. Let's again, let that head be heavy, let your neck be long. You can turn your head from side to side here if that would feel good. You can also find a rocking motion if that would help soothe your body. And then as you are ready, come to stillness, bend your knees, exhale, roll your way up. Inhale, rise and open. And exhale, hands to heart center. Release your hands down and come on down to the mat. So we're going to start seated for core cultivation today. And I think to keep tension from building in the neck and shoulders, let's start all the way down. So we're going to lie down on our mats and draw our knees into our chest. Start just by rocking from side to side. Massage out your lower back. And then come to stillness at the center. Let your arms come down to the mat, palms face down. Now, notice how your body is resting on the mat right now. If you feel like your shoulders are a little scrunched toward your ears, just walk them down. We've all been carrying so much tension lately that our bodies develop patterns of position. So part of what yoga does is it gives us a chance to do a little bit of reprogramming. So just notice where your shoulders are right now and maybe melt them a little bit. On your next inhale, press your heels to the sky. We're going for straight-ish legs. I have very tight hamstrings, so this for me is a straight leg. If that is for you as well, it's totally fine. Press through both heels. And on your exhale, we're going to lower that right heel down. So maybe it's to a 45-degree angle, maybe it's a little bit more, maybe it's a little bit less. And then inhale back together. Exhale to lower that left heel down. Inhaling back together. So this helps strengthen our core muscles. We go nice and slowly here. Try to avoid using momentum. And remember, of course, that the lower that bottom heel goes, the more intense the work is. So you can really tailor this to what feels good in your body today. And then we're going to draw our knees back into our chests, rock from side to side, let it go. Turn your head from side to side, just releasing any tension that might have accumulated. And let's do one more core cultivator while we're down here. So from here, let your knees open toward your armpits. So we've got a nice big space across our bodies with the knees still bent. Keeping that bend in the knee, press your heels to the sky. So it's almost as though you're squatting on the ceiling. For your next core cultivator, on your exhale, press your palms between your feet. And then inhale back down to the mat. Exhaling, pressing away. Inhaling down to the earth. Now, if this is cultivating, if this is strengthening, you stay right here. If you would like to add on your inhale, you can extend to pike, letting your arms and legs reach away from each other. And then exhale, coiling in. Inhaling to open. And remember, there's no wrong way to do this, right? Do the practice that's right for you. On your next exhale, draw everything in and let it go. Rock from side to side, turn your head, relax. Come back to stillness at the center. From here, let's rock our way forward to seated, and then we're going to make our way up to standing. And while you do that, I'm going to adjust my camera so that you can see the rest of me. So anytime we're experiencing back tension, particularly lower back tension, it's frequently connected to tension in other muscle groups. Many times the hips, the glutes, the hamstrings, everything's a kinetic chain, it's all connected. So we're going to work a little bit on loosening that section of the body. So what I'd like you to do is take a nice wide stance, let your feet point out at a 45-degree angle. On your inhale, sweep your hands to the sky. Exhale, bend your knees, sinking down, high malasana, high yoga squat. Inhale to rise. And exhale to soften. And as you come down, just notice how this feels. You might feel like you need a little more space. You can step your feet a little wider. And we just want to make sure our knees are opening out to the side, so tracking over our feet as opposed to shifting forward. Let your next inhale float you up to the sky. Exhaling to fold. So there's a variation here. That's one of my favorite shoulder and hip stretches. So we're going to move into that. On this next exhale, bring your right hand to your right inner thigh and lower your right shoulder down, pressing that right thigh away. Inhale to center, left hand, left thigh, left shoulder comes down. Inhale to center and right. And we'll just flow back and forth a little bit here, continuing to create space. Come back to stillness at the center. We're going to step our feet together now to do a little bit more work on stretching out our lower backs. So what I'd like you to do, or to at least consider doing, I invite you to position a block directly in front of your feet, just like this one. Once you're there, on your inhale, sweep your hands to the sky and then fold forward. And we're just going to plant our hands on that block. On your next exhale, soften, melt toward forward fold. Then inhale to halfway rise. Roll your hips away, roll your heart forward, lengthening across your back. Exhaling, folding. Inhale, lengthen. Flatten out your back, collarbones roll back and down. Exhale to fold. Inhale one more time. And then exhale, we'll rest for a moment right here. And then we're going to do just a little bit of twisting using this same block. So what I'd like you to do is come back to that halfway rise position and root one hand. Doesn't matter which one. On your inhale, peel the other one open. So we're adding a little twist here. You'll feel this in many places most likely. Exhale, lower that hand down, switch it out. Peel open on the other side. Lowering down and inhaling to open. And we'll just follow our breath from side to side right here. Come back to center. Now, from here, let's walk our hands, or our hands on that block, over to one side. So if you're over on your right, you're going to press your left hip away. If your hands are on your left side, of course, the opposite hip. So we press that hip away and feel that nice deep stretch along that side. And then we'll come back to center and off to the other side. So bringing that block over to the side of the body, pressing the opposite hip away. Let's come back to center. And then from here, we're going to take a nice wide stance on the mat. So we'll just let our feet be wide. We'll let them be parallel, so they're both facing forward this time. Now we're going to come into a wide-legged forward fold. If you know you'd like to have a block for that, feel free to put one at the center of the mat. On your next inhale, find your rise. Exhale to fold forward. Let your hands find that block or the earth. Bend your right knee and sink over to your right side. Press the edge of your left foot away. Inhale to center, and then sink over to the left and press the edge of your right foot away. Inhaling to center. So this is flowing Skandasana. Those of you who've studied with me for a while know that this is one of my favorite hip and back openers. So we're just going to spend a little time here shifting from side to side. Remember, of course, that you do have some options. If it's open to you, you're also welcome to float your hands and just find free-form creative expression with them here. Coming back to center, we're going to walk our hands to the top of our mat. We'll pivot on both feet and lower that left knee all the way down. Now from here, walk your hands up your right knee. So that left knee is down, right knee is up. We're in lunge. And again, we're just checking in to make sure that right knee is directly over the ankle. On your inhale, sweep your fingertips to the sky. Exhale, opening out. Inhale, create space. On this next exhale, both hands come down. Turn your left toes under to lift your back knee, and then pivot your left foot back and down. So we're setting up for warrior two. And I'm just going to switch real quick so that I'm open to you. So that right foot is still forward, left foot is back. Inhale it up, find your way to your warrior two. Release your hands down to settle that pose. Put a nice deep bend in your right knee. Fiddle with whatever needs to change. I always joke that this is the spot where we all fix our shirts. So from here, once you've found your warrior, open your heart to the broad side of your mat. Relax and then lengthen. Reverse warrior. Exhale, right hand or right elbow to that knee and sweep your left arm long. Inhale, up and back. Exhale, right hand to right knee, left arm reaches long. Inhaling up and back. Now, as always, our bodies choose the path of least resistance, right? So your heart will start trying to turn toward that right leg. Try to stay open and broad. This helps stretch out our side waist. So let's do a little variation here that takes us deeper into the hips. On your next exhale, dive that right arm underneath your right knee and Superman your arms. Inhale, let your strong core draw you up. Exhale, diving into that deeper stretch. Inhaling up. And then we're going to come back to center, back to our warrior two. Release your hands down. From here, we'll pinwheel our hands back down to the mat. Pivot on your back foot, once again, lowering it down. So we'll shift our hips back, let those right toes reach toward the sky. This is half monkey pose or Ardha Hanuman. And the whole point of this space is just to keep releasing tension in the back of the body. Inhale to lengthen, sit nice and tall. Exhale to fold forward. Inhaling, creating length. And then exhale. From here, walk your hands back and take a seat. And we're going to tuck that left foot in and then extend that right leg long. And we'll just turn our hearts toward that right foot. Create plenty of length here. Sit tall. Exhale, fold forward. Remember that wherever your hands land is fine. So that might be your thigh or your shin. For a couple of you, it might even be the foot. But the goal here isn't to grab the foot. The goal here is to lengthen the spine and stretch. So next inhale, we lengthen. Exhale to soften toward that right leg. And we'll just follow our breath down, lengthening and then softening. And then gently and gradually walk your hands back. Let's draw the soles of our feet together for butterfly pose. So we've been working hips most of practice today, which means if you'd like to, you can try drawing your heels in, maybe a little closer to your body than usual for a slightly deeper hip stretch. What's most important here is that you are sitting forward on your sits bones. And I'll just turn sideways real quick so I can explain what that looks like. So when we sit forward on our sits bones, it creates a nice root so that our back stays straight. If you are behind your sits bones, it creates a C shape in the spine and means you're kind of hanging on for dear life. If this is what's happening, scoot your butt back a little bit further. So we want to have that nice long spine. So once you've found your right position, inhale to lengthen. Exhale to hinge forward from the hips. So we keep our spines nice and long, the back stays flat, all the way down to butterfly. When you find your spot of maximum stretch, like in my body, this is it, then surrender, then let your spine curve. You can bow over your feet. And just come back to your breath, back to your intention for your practice. Feel the way your breath moves along the back of your throat. And feel how safe and secure butterfly pose feels. And then exhale, roll your body all the way up. From here, let's find our way once more to tabletop, and we'll do the other side. We'll do our left side. So from your tabletop, let's step that left foot forward, keeping that right knee down on the mat, and then we'll walk our hands up. So that right knee is down, left knee is up. Just again, checking in, making sure that angle is nice and safe. And let's find that heart opener. Inhale, sweep your fingertips forward and up. Exhale, opening out to either side. Inhale. Now, if you're experiencing some stress, and most of us are, this is a good place for lion's breath as well. Let both hands come down to the mat. Turn your right toes under to lift that back knee, and then we're going to pivot that right foot back and down. Inhale it up, finding your way to your warrior two. So that left knee is forward, right foot is back for your Vira two. Take a moment to settle, to adjust whatever needs to change, sink deeply, and let your heart be open to the broad side of the mat. Radiate your arms out to either side. Flip your left hand to face the sky. Inhale, up and back. Exhale, left hand or left elbow to that left knee. Reach your right arm long. Dancing warrior on the inhale. Flowing from side to side. So let's add on. On your next exhale, dive your left arm underneath your left knee. Superman your arms. Inhaling up and back. Exhaling to dive. So we're just finding that deeper expression, that deeper stretch through our hip. And find your way back to your warrior two. Pinwheel your hands down. Pivot on your right foot and lower your right knee down. We're going to walk our hands back and let our left toes reach for the sky. So half monkey pose, inhaling to lengthen and exhale to bow. And we'll just feel that a couple more times. From here, we'll walk our hands forward and just take a seat. And we're going to this time draw that right heel in and extend that left leg long. So let's turn our hearts toward that left foot. Inhale, create plenty of space. Exhale, fold all the way forward. Let your fingertips land wherever feels comfortable. Create plenty of length on your inhale and exhale to fold. And of course, this will feel different on one side than on the other because bodies are a little bit asymmetrical. It's totally normal. What's most important is that we are feeling a stretch here. So keep lengthening your spine and then softening into that stretch. And then walk your hands back. So we're going to do one of my favorite shoulder stretches here to keep addressing that neck and shoulder tension. I invite you to make your way to tabletop. So once we are in tabletop, let's lift our right hand and wiggle those fingers and then dive that right arm underneath the left. Come all the way down to your right shoulder and let your head rest on the mat. Now, plant your left hand onto the mat. You can begin to press into that left hand or with that left hand to feel a deeper stretch across the back of your upper back and all the way down into your mid back here. So this is option one. If this feels amazing, you stay exactly as you are. If you'd like to, you're welcome to sweep that right arm to the sky and then tuck it behind you for a half bind here. You can also try things in yoga and decide they aren't for you. So if you try that and you found it didn't feel good, just go back to the previous expression. If it does feel good, then along with leaning into that right shoulder, we're just going to turn our heads and our hearts a little more toward the sky. So that's that left arm is tucked up behind, the right arm is down, just in case I got that wrong. I think I might have. And release. Come back to center, back to tabletop. You stay as you are. I'm just going to turn so that I can stay facing you. And this time we'll feel that on the left. So we're going to lift those left fingertips and dive them underneath that right arm. Again, coming all the way down. Rest your head on the mat. Rest your shoulder. Plant your right hand and begin to press into the mat. Use that contact point to create a little more stretch across that left back area. And again, yogi's choice, right? Option one, stay right here. If this feels great, stay put. If you'd like to add on, you can sweep your right hand to the sky and then exhale to tuck it behind you for a half bind. If you find that that half bind feels good, then maybe a little bit more rotation is open to you. You can turn your face a little more toward the sky, turning the heart as well. Just getting a deeper twist right here. And let's come back to center, unpretzeling. And then from here, we're simply going to make our way down to the mat. Roll your way all the way down onto your back and draw your knees into your chest. Once again, taking a moment for a little self-love, rocking from side to side. You also have the option to draw a big circle with your knees. So my lower back thinks this feels wonderful. So you can try it and see how you feel about it. In my back, this feels great. If it doesn't in yours, just rock from side to side instead. It's all about finding those moments of ease and tenderness and nurturing. And they're going to be different for everyone's bodies. Come back to center, to stillness. Lower the soles of your feet down to the mat just beneath your glutes and reach your arms long. So we're going to move into a little back bend sequence here, a little bit of low bridge, and I'll give you an option before we move into bridge. So the first thing we're going to do is draw our navels in nice and strong and feel our lower back press against the mat. Inhale to release. Exhale, scooping your belly in, pressing your back. Inhaling to release. So this is a dynamic pelvic tilt. This is option 1 for our back bend sequence. You can stay right here if this feels really good. If you would like to move into low bridge, we're going to come to a neutral spine and then draw the navel in just a little bit, just enough to protect our lower back. So not that full tuck, about halfway. Let your palms face down. On your inhale, press into your feet to lift your hips up off the mat. Exhale to soften a little bit. Inhale to lift. Exhaling to soften. And just rising and falling on your breath. On your next exhale, roll your way all the way down, vertebra by vertebra. Draw your knees into your chest and rock from side to side. Come to center and open your arms out to either side. Make a nice big T on the mat. Drop your knees off to your right hand side and turn your head to look to the left. Try to melt your left shoulder toward the earth. No tension here. Let your feet relax. If you find that one of your feet, like your left foot, is floating, just plant that foot instead and let that knee be up, and then let the right leg be down. Let your next inhale, draw your knees back to center. Exhale to drop them off to the left. Turn your head to look to the right. Again, if that top foot is floating, just plant the foot instead and let that knee be bent. And then let your left knee and foot be relaxed. Both of those work the twist. Both of them relax our bodies. Inhale to draw everything back to center. And now if there is any additional movement, any stretch, anything at all that would feel good, take a moment to address that need in your practice. So maybe it's another twist or a heart opener, a hip opener, a fold, an inversion. Maybe it's just finding your feet, spending a little quality time in happy baby. Whatever would feel best here. That's what goes in this space. And then find your way toward your Shavasana, remembering that you have many options here. So you can lie flat on your back for Shavasana if that feels good. You're also welcome to bend your knees. This takes tension off your lower back. You can bring your feet the distance of the mat and then let your knees fall together at the center, which still allows you to relax and be supported without sacrificing comfort in your lower back. You can take Shavasana seated for meditation. You can lie on your side. What's most important here is that you find a spot where you can rest and integrate the benefits of our time together. So once you've found that space, try to soften all the points where your body is in connection with the earth. Relax your jaw. Relax your eyes and your forehead. And just let go and float. And if you find yourself drawn into a thought cycle of any sort, just acknowledge it and then come back to the feeling of your breath moving in your body. Allow your breath to create space within your body. And begin to find some little movements of your fingertips and your toes. Just bringing yourself back to this day, to this time. Point your toes away and reach your arms up overhead. Take a deep breath in, full body stretch. Then exhale to draw your knees into your chest and rock from side to side. Eventually find your way all the way over to your right side and just curl into the posture of the sleeping child. Try to let your body soften against the earth. You can cradle your head in your right arm if that would feel good. Just let go for a moment. From your practice, from this space that you have created, breathe in whatever you most need for the rest of this day. Maybe it's peace or focus, energy or love or patience. Whatever it is, breathe that in. Our practices nourish more than our bodies. And then whenever you are ready and you feel your practice is complete, use your hands to help press yourself up to a nice, easy seated position. Once you've arrived, bring your hands to heart center and close your eyes. We're going to close our practice this morning with a round of Om Shanti Shanti Shanti, a prayer for peace. Inhale. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Thank you so much for sharing your practice with me today. Namaste. Thank you for coming in today, everyone, and for sharing this space with me. I'm going to come over and stop our recording. There we go.